This new mini crawler from Redcat might be the best brushless crawler for under $200 that you can buy, but there's a catch. So in this video, we're going to be covering the exterior. We'll take a look under the body. We'll take it for a drive on my off-road course, and then I'll give it my final Marcus's marks so you can find out if this should be in your garage. So let's get right into it. Hi everybody, and welcome to RC Galaxy Reviews. I'm back from some travels through Europe, and if you do want to see some of the shorts I did there, click the link below. But today I bring you a new review of this Redcat Ascent 18 Scout 2 Brushless. Now the Redcat Ascent 18 was already a really solid choice, and it still is. But the Scout 2 brings some more scale features and is now offered with a brushless option. With every new 1/18 scale release, the RC market is getting more and more competitive and exciting. So can this new Redcat Ascent 18 compete? Let's find out. We'll start by talking about pricing, which this model has a price tag of $199 US, which is pretty competitive. For example, the HPI Venture 18 has a price tag of $199 US, and so does the Furetech Katana and FMS Toyota LC80 brushless. This new model comes in two different colors. I have this bronze gold exterior color, and I haven't seen this on any RC model that is stock. So it is a really different choice, and that's why I chose it. I think it looks really good, but it also comes in a red color, which is nice as well. Here at the front, this vehicle is fully licensed by International Scout, and a fun fact is that the 1-to-1 ratio of this brand is being released soon. So here we have these LED lights, which are switchable, no turn signals. Down the side, we have this rally right here, brushless down there. And then we also have these nice blacked out wheels, which we'll talk about the tires later on in this video. And come around to the rear, we have International Scout there and Scout 2. And then we also have taillights right there. Let me know in the comments below, do you like the styling of this car, or would you choose something a little more modern or different? Now, for the shocks, this vehicle comes with oil-filled shocks, and they are really nicely damped. They absorb bumps really nicely, and they just do flex and articulate really good. The wheels and tires are also nice. They do have quite a lot of foam, so they are on the firm side, but they do perform really well, and they are relatively grippy. And I think that this model does look really good, and it is different from other models in this segment. So now let's take a look at the underbody. Let's quickly run through what comes in the box. So it does come standard with a battery and charger. The only thing you will need is 4 AA batteries for the transmitter. Now to access the under, we have this little black toggle, which we're going to make sure is aligned with the hole. Push down, and it will quickly release. And then there's a little hook at the front, which will come off easily as well. And this reveals our brushless motor, ESC, and 750 milliamp 2S LiPo battery seen on the Ascent 18 as well. Overall, the layout is pretty good and evenly distributed. My only complaint is here, the ESC is located on the left-hand side, and on the right side we have nothing, which means that sometimes when you're driving, the car will tilt a little bit to the left side, which definitely gets a little bit annoying. Here we have this back, and it is the same chassis as the Ascent 18, but it's definitely longer, and you can see right here. It does affect the performance by a little bit, but for the most part it is pretty good. And then this overhang sometimes does grab on rocks or some kind of terrain. Here we have our on-off button on the left again, and then we have our lights, which are secured by tape so they don't move around when you're driving. And then to put the car back on, you just have to kind of get it in the hook, and then it is easy. And I do like to make sure that it is slotted right where there's two little lines, because sometimes it will unravel if it's not, and then the body will fall off when you're driving. So it is a little bit loosely kept, in my opinion. Here on the underbody, we have portal axles, and the ground clearance is really good for a long vehicle. These are the plastic drive shafts. The Ascent 18 does have plastic drive shafts. I've had it for almost a year now, and I've had zero issues, so I'm pretty confident that this Scout will also be pretty reliable. Now let's quickly talk about the transmitter. So this is the same transmitter that we see on the Ascent 18, except once you open this lid, that's where things do change a little bit. Here we have our steering trim to adjust the steering angle, the throttle trim, which if you press it, the car will slowly move forward and it will keep a consistent pace, which is pretty cool as well. And then here we have the steering drive, so you can have this amount of steering angle, which is quite not very good, and then once you push it up to the very top, the steering angle is really good, and it does use a 4-kilogram metal steering servo, which is really good as well. And here we have our dip switches. So here we have the first one, which is forward and backwards, and if it's up, it'll be forwards and then immediately backwards. But if you switch it down, it can do forwards, stop, and then backwards. I'm going to leave it on just forwards, then backwards, because that's how I like to drive. And then here we have our battery type. So when the vehicle came, this switch was down, and you do want to keep it on LiPo, which is how it is positioned right now. And then if you push it up, then it will be nickel metal hydride battery. And then here we have our drag brakes for these last two to adjust how you would like it to your preferred liking. Here we have channel 4, which is for the lights, and channel 3 does not do anything. Overall, it is really comfortable. I can barely drive one-handed, so it is a little bit big for my hands, but overall, I do like this transmitter. Let's talk about the approach and departure angles, which this is the best I've seen on a mini crawler for the approach angles. It is phenomenal. It's super good, and this little bar does not affect it at all. But the rear has a different story. This long overhang does affect the performance quite a lot, but overall it still is a really good performer. As for the drag brake, I have barely used it because the slow crawl is so good that I do not even feel like it's needed. And speaking of the slow crawl, it is phenomenal. It's so quiet, so smooth, and super controlled. One of the slowest I've seen. And another thing that I've noticed on a lot of brushless models is that when you're driving on a steep hill or on a rock, it'll really lurch forward. None of that with this model. It's just so smooth, and I think Redcat did an amazing job on making this model because I do not have any lurching. But when you do go full speed, it is very slow. Slower than the Ascent 18, and it definitely does make the vehicle hard to drive on trails. It does get quite loud as well. And if Redcat added a 2-speed transmission to this model, wow, it would be an out-of-this-world performer. And I think that is the only thing that Redcat needs to do to make this vehicle really, really competitive. And I hope you do enjoy the driving footage, and I'll see you back for Marcus's Marks. This is a 45-degree angle ascent with the Redcat Ascent 18 Scout 2 brushless. No lifting, but now we're lifting. We're having a little bit of slippage. We'll go nice and slow. Oh, that's a fail for the 45-degree angle. Now let's try it at 43 degrees. Still a little bit of slipping. Oh, we're definitely slipping quite a bit. Oh, yeah, so because the car is so heavy at the rear, it failed even at 43 degrees. Now let's do the descent at 43 degrees. Nice and smooth. The slow motor definitely helps here. And that is a pass. Have the car at a stop, and we're going to lift until the car flips over. So the car's holding quite well, 50, 51. Now let's do the car facing downwards, and we're starting at 42 degrees. Again, it's holding quite well. And now we're going to do the side angle. We are starting at 35 degrees. 43, 43, so pretty good at over. Back from Marcus's Marks. I hope you enjoyed the driving footage. And now let's get right into it. For exterior design, the Redcat Ascent 18 Scout 2 brushless gets a score of 8.5 out of 10. I really like the way this vehicle looks. I think this bronze does really blend in with the desert or the rocks, and I think it looks really scale, and it's a really nice looking vehicle in my opinion. Now for the chassis design, it gets a score of 8.5 as well, because while it does have a little bit of lopsidedness from the ESC, it is a really easy layout and I do like it. For the crawling, it gets a score of 9 out of 10. It's super nice to crawl, super controlled. The brushless motor makes a big difference. But when you're going on steep ascents, the rear definitely does cause extra weight and the car might topple over. Now for the value score, it gets a score of 8 out of 10. It's not amazing. $199 is definitely quite pricey, but $169 or $179 would be excellent. I would really appreciate if Redcat did lower the price, but it is on par with the other competitors, so it's not super overpriced. And for the personal score, it gets a score of 9 out of 10. I really like this model. I think Redcat did a great job with making this model. I think the brushless route definitely makes this vehicle way better, and I hope that Redcat continues to make these amazing scale models that they do. Now, any mods that I would do would just be to add extra weight, but other than that, I think this is a really solid performer and another banger release from Redcat. Now, next week we have a really good car coming on the bench, so stay tuned for that. Please like and subscribe to our channel, and if you do like this kind of content, head over to my Ascent 18 video, which I'll link in the description below. And have a great day. I'll catch you on the next one.